All right, so today we're talking about how to make a project in Claude. And in this case, we're going to be creating a technology assistant. And so the purpose of this particular project is going to be to help with an AMS implementation project. So first, we're going to click the New Project button, and we're going to give our project a name. And in this case, I'm just going to call it Implementation support, you could say guide, friend, you could make it funny. This is really just telling you how to get back to it. And honestly, the description doesn't seem to matter a lot, so I usually just keep it pretty low key. Um, in this case, I'm going to make it private, but usually I make it something that everybody in my organization can use. So we're going to create the project, and now you have the shell. So what you will have here if you do chat with it is just a container for all of your chat history in one place. But the real power comes in instructions and files. And so you can write your own instructions and just give it really clear ways of making sure that this project is doing exactly what you want. But I actually like to have it prompt itself for a project or for instructions. So what I'm going to do is take a prompt that I've pre-created so you don't have to watch me type. But it basically says, I'm making a project and I want it to do the following things. It's going to contain notes. I want it to be a knowledge base. I want it to be able to reference content, write the instructions that I should write for this project. I'm also going to add here, I want it to never make anything up, always reference existing documents. So let's see what it comes up with and if we like that. So now it's writing um, the instructions. And you should always actually, copy this down and rewrite it for yourself. Make sure everything is exactly the way you want it to be. But because I don't want to spend everybody's time watching me read this and fuss with it, I'm just going to go back to my project and add these instructions in. And so this is going to put it into what's called markup language. And it really it tells the project everything it needs to know, how it should never fabricate information, always reference links so it knows what document it's referring to, um, and even, how to build test plans, document analysis. So these are great. I'm saving them. And now the final step is adding your files. And so what we're going to do is add our files here and drop them in. And in this case, I'm adding a bunch of meeting files from pretend meetings I've had and have made up. But if you were really doing this, you should also add all of your meeting transcripts. You should add your RFP documents or contract files, anything related to the implementation project. And so you can see you have a lot of space here. There's only 2% of capacity used. You should be able to add as much as you need. And now let's give it a test run. So in this case, I've invented a pretend AMS. And so I'm just going to ask it, what were the biggest concerns throughout the lifespan of this project with this particular integration? And so we'll see what happens here. But you can see that overall it's coming up with all of the things that happen on this project. And now let's say I want to turn this into some user stories, right? That are going to serve me as requirements for things I want to fix. So I'm going to say write a list of requirements in the form of user stories that ensure these won't be an issue in the future. And so we'll give it that command and we'll see what happens. And of course, this is all experimental. And so this is giving us the user story as a member. I want company records. It's giving me acceptance criteria. Actually, let's say we want to get rid of acceptance criteria. We want to say, write the list of user stories without the acceptance criteria. And that way it'll be a nice little short set of requirements. And here they are. So now let's say we want user stories to become a skill. Now, a skill is a specific thing that Claude can do on repeat. It's different than a project in that everything is not collected into one space, but you can have it be a skill that can be reused across projects. So now let's say turn creating user stories into a skill. And it might ask me some questions about this, but let's see. And I will say skills eat a lot of bandwidth. So when you use a lot of skills, you end up with um, sometimes running into limits. And so in this case, we'll save the skill, and that way we can use it across different projects and different chats. And so now when you come here to customize, you can look at your skills and see that you have the user story generator that you just built. Um, and so that's where you can come here, you can modify the skill and you can share it out.